Absolutely not.
No, I don't think I need a chair, but thank you. Thanks. I'm in the back reading. The manuscript for my second book is due in 3 weeks. And, man, I've been fooling around. And this morning, and I know because so many of you are authors, I know you're going to get this. This morning I hit the sweet spot. And I got up at 5 o'clock. I know. Anybody, I know. If you're a writer, you realize what that means. I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and it was there. And I started writing, and I was watching the clock saying, oh, my God, I've got to get over to Sylvia. But I just hit the sweet spot. So it's not that I'm not socializing, because I really do want to get around to see everybody, but I hit the sweet spot. And, you know, you got to write when it's there. And somebody walked over, I can't remember who it was, somebody walked over to me and they said, well, what station are you with? And that would be somebody who watches Channel 7.
You got it.
Or even worse, Channel 2. You guys, stop that. But I'm just in case you watch one of those other forbidden stations, I'm the morning correspondent for Channel 4, Local 4. And if you've heard me speak before, then you've heard me tell the story about how I never, ever, 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 ever wanted to be a reporter. I always wanted to write. My mom says I started writing at, I think 4. I think it was 6. But I just kind of stumbled into the news business. And I grew up, I was not allowed to watch television. My siblings and I were not allowed to watch television. The very first time that I ever even watched the news, I was on it as a reporter. I just kind of stumbled into the business accidentally. But little did I know that it would give me such amazing material to write. I'm a former police reporter, and a police reporter. I'm not a police reporter now. Now I kind of do fun stuff, unless you're covering, city council, and then that's not fun. But anyway, but I'm a former police reporter, which means you're not sent out of a building unless somebody's dead, dying, burning, or decomposing. And it's really hard work. And it's really, really tough work. But who knew that it was going to give me such interesting stuff to write about? The book is, it's called fiction. My first novel to be published. It's called fiction, but it really is very loosely based on being a reporter. And if you're a news junkie, if you like watching the news, or if you go, why did they cover that story and not that story? This book really does explain a lot of that. I have one of my readers right here, and she's kind of going, yeah, I know. Where's the second one? Shut up and give me the second one. So the story is a reporter shows up on the scene of a double murder, and it's based in Detroit. Well, this is something that actually happened to me in Baltimore. It's based on something that happened to me in Baltimore. So she shows up on the scene of this double murder. What she doesn't realize is that the killer is still on the scene. It's a crime of opportunity. But he sees this reporter, and he goes, oh my gosh, that's my favorite reporter. I love her. And he makes a decision right there that if he keeps killing, she's probably going to keep showing up to cover those murders. And he's going to get an opportunity to meet her and make her his own. So the book really is the cat and mouse game with this nutcase. Saying that lightly. He told him in the zone. I'm like there and here and there and here. Sorry about that. Anyways, the writing is there, you guys. Anyway, so this nutcase, and basically he's committing all of these murders and leaving them as gifts to make her a star. When I started writing the book, I went back to all of his love letters and all of my pre-trial reports and all of my notes. And I'm one of those sloppy reporters who nobody can find anything on their desk. In fact, one weekend, my coworkers actually wrapped my desk in crime scene tape and put a do not cross on it. But I can tell you exactly where stuff is on that desk. So I'm one of those reporters. But for some reason, organized chaos, or sometimes just chaos. But for some reason, I kept these notes, and I kept those love letters. And there was when I covered his trial, there was this artist's drawing, because during the trial, this guy would go crazy every time I was in the courtroom. And at one point, I thought the judge was going to throw me out of the courtroom. I really did, because this guy would just go absolutely nuts. And then one day I was running late for court, and I was bending down getting a pen or something, and I heard the entire courtroom gasp. And I was like, oh man, what did this idiot do now? And when I looked up, he was standing in front of me. He'd gotten away from the sheriff's deputies.
Oh my God.
And he raised his hand. And it just takes me back. I just got goosebumps. It takes me back to that day, and I just went like this, because I thought he was going to stab me. And when he didn't, I just kind of lowered my hand, and he was holding out all of these letters. And I was just standing there looking at him, and my photographer finally nudged me and said, "Take the letters, stupid." And so I grabbed the letters, and so a lot of those letters are in this book, and I actually remember looking at that, because the artist in the courtroom actually drew him standing there holding these letters up, and I was like this. So the book has a lot of the things I was afraid of, and a lot of the things that actually did happen. But one of the things, I'm going to read you a short passage, because the book is also really funny, and it's a lot of fun. It is adult reading. There are parts that my mom couldn't get through, and I would say, "Mother, I'm an author. Just read the book." And she'd, "No, you're my baby daughter. I can't read it." So I just tell you that to say that there are some grown-up parts to it. But it's also really funny, because the reporter has kind of she's kind of quirky, and she's not damaged, but she might be a little injured, and she's got a lot of stuff going on. But she's got this crazy friend named Walina Johns, and Walina Johns is what every woman wants as her best friend. She is wild, and she is saucy, and she doesn't care what anybody thinks, and she does things her own way. She's this gorgeous, full-figured, wonderful woman who just doesn't care. She rarely works. She actually is living off of, now this part I don't like, but I still like the character. But she's living off a married man, and P.S. Garrett, the main character, is amazed at how Walina constantly gets away with hanging out with this married man, and he bankrolls every venture she wants to do. And I mean, she's just that kind of wild woman you'd like to call and say, "Girl," and she'd say, "Oh, heck no." So that's kind of Walina Johns. So this is one of my favorite. You guys, I don't wear glasses. I just do this for show. Anyway.